So a few days ago I uploaded a couple of pictures of this new Amiga 600 I got, and when I say new, I mean new to me. So of course this one came out in the early 1990s. So I got this for a relatively cheap price, and it was pretty dirty, although it was advertised as being immaculate. So what I actually did with this is just carefully took away all the keycaps on this one and soaked the lot, and it's come up really nice. Now something I really liked about this is that previously, and the 600s I've had in the past, normally you'll get a little bulge in the center just here, where the screw underneath over the years has been screwed in, and it creates just a little gouge there. We don't have that problem on this one. This is nice and clean. As we can see, the case in itself is very white, it's very fresh. The keys sadly are beginning to yellow, but what I'm going to do is upgrade those keycaps with brand new remanufactured black keycaps. So we've also got a Gotek inside of this one, which I'm going to be showing you. What have we got inside of this thing? So just like any Amiga fan, when you buy an Amiga, you'll likely go straight for the trap door. If I turn this over, we can access the trapdoor just here, normally with a little screwdriver or whatever, just to open this up. But we've actually got a RAM upgrade inside of this one, which is making it a little bit speedier. We don't have any added fast RAM to it yet. So if we open this one up, so here we go then, this is what's inside of the Amiga. So like I was just saying, we've actually got a RAM expansion here of 1 megabyte. I'm not sure the brand of this one, but it works just fine. We've also got the Gotek just here, which is obviously replacing the floppy disk drive. And it's also mounted into a 3D printed bracket just here, which fits it nicely inside. We got a ROM 2.0 chip, which is okay, but I'm going to upgrade that eventually to a 3.1. And we got a place just here for a hard drive to go in, but I'm going to be upgrading that. I'm not going to bother putting a traditional hard drive in there, or even a CF card. I'm actually going to be upgrading this with a PyStorm. Something else I'm going to be doing with this is having it recapped at some point. Obviously, if you're into computers, then we got lots of caps just here, little batteries which all need replacing, which will likely improve the performance as well. So if we take another look at the Gotek drive, a little bit up close then, so what we do with this is just put a USB stick into it, and you put ADF files on there, which are disk images, and it loads games directly, where what it does is just emulates the disk drive. So this is connected with a serial cable and a power cable. We've got a couple of buttons just here, which I'm going to demonstrate in a minute how this works. And we've also got a display just here, and again I'm going to show you in a minute how that actually works. And here we go, so I've turned on the Commodore Amiga 600. This we can see just here, we've got the 2.0 ROM chips. Now what I'm going to show you very briefly is how the Gotek drive works for this. So of course I've just popped in the USB stick, and what we need to do to make this work is just put a couple of files on that USB stick. We plug it in, and this is our display. As we can see right now, it's saying direct access. We got a couple of the buttons on the right hand side here, and it skews this, but the case hasn't been closed down, but all is well. So if we just toggle around with the buttons just here, we can actually scroll through the ADF files that I've got. So as we can see, I've got Workbench just here on the USB stick. So we got some games on there too. So I'm going to leave this to auto boot. When you turn off the Amiga and turn it back on. Okay, so this is what we can see once we boot up using that auto start, and this is of course the flash floppy menu. So it's going to look a bit confusing to begin with. We need a couple of files on the USB stick to get into this menu, and as we can see, I've got lots of different letters. So what I'm going to do is just go down to the S, and if I press enter, you can use joystick with this. I'm personally using the keyboard keys right now. So if I boot up one of these games, I'm going to specifically look for a game which has got a few disk images rather than just a single game image. So what I'm going to do is look for a game I was playing fairly recently, which I've not played in years, and that's Second Samurai. So if we just get a bit closer to this, we can see Second Samurai, disc 1 of 3, we got disc 2 of 3. So obviously we need to mount these into place. So what I'm going to do then is press the enter key on the Amiga keyboard for disc 1 of 3. And what we've got just here is drive A slot selection. So what this is going to do is literally mount those images into this directory just here. So I've already got some games mounted, and we've actually already got this mounted, but I'm going to take you through the process. So what I'm going to do is take the first position just here, and if I press enter, and enter again on disc 1, As we can see, the top entry is now changed, and I'm going to also add the second disk for this in slot 002. Press enter, and if I then select disk 2 or 3, and we'll also do it for the third disk image, so we've got everything there. So these are now in place, and what I'm going to do to boot up the game is just press F7 on the Amiga keyboard. Save in selection, rebooting. Now if we take a look back at the Amiga Gotek, so I forgot to mention, but this Amiga actually came with a really nice Amiga mouse too, as well as a really stylish mouse mat. We've now got to the part where we need to insert disk 2 and then press fire. So what we need to do is go back to the Gotek, and obviously disk 1 is mounted, and what I need to do is just press on the right button just here, and we can actually scroll through those mounted ADF files. So I'm simply going to look for disk 2 or 3, which we've now got. If I then go back to the game, press fire, and there we go. And I've actually got the Amiga, or rather the TV, set up with my hi-fi through phono cable, so I'm getting a really good sound with this too. Okay, so say I want to stop playing the game, what I'm going to do is go back to the Gotek, and I'm going to look for auto boot. What I'm going to do, by pressing the 2 Amiga keys and pressing Control all together, this is then going to reset the Amiga and take us back into flash floppy. Cool, and as you're aware, I've got the 2.0 ROM chip in this Amiga 600, so I've actually got an ADF file of Workbench. So again, what I've done is just simply mounted this, and I'm going to show you in a minute that booting up. Now, for those of you new to Gotek who you're thinking about getting one, things might get a little bit confusing with that screen. If you just press on the help button, we've actually got a little list here of what certain buttons do. And if I press escape, that'll bring us back. If I press enter on the hxscdfe.config, that's going to take us straight to the slot selection screen, so we can actually see what we've got. So what I'm going to do is actually load up Workbench from here using the Gotek. So if I use disk 1, and if I press F7 to load that up, and of course we also got the floppy activity light coming on when it's loading those images, which is a nice little touch. It thinks it's got a real disk inside. So it is slightly slower because I don't actually add any fast memory in this. And here we go, so we're now into Workbench. And that's just a very brief glimpse at my new Amiga 600 with the Gotek installed. So I have got on order a couple of upgrades, like I said, such as a 3.1 ROM chip to go inside of this one. And I've also got the Pi Storm on the way, which of course I'm going to upload a video for when I fit that. So people's been asking for a video like this to show off my hardware, and here you go. This is the very awesome Amiga 600 with Gotek.